Bread! 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 Bread!
Before we proceed any further, hear me speak.
Speak! Speak!
You are all resolved rather to die than to famish.
Resolve! Resolve!
First, you know Caius Martius, his chief enemy to the people.
We know it!
Let us kill him, and we'll have corn at our own price. Is the verdict?
No more talking on it, let it be done! Away! Away!
One word, good citizens.
We are accounted poor citizens, the patricians good. What authority Surfexon would relieve us? If they would yield us but the superfluity while it were wholesome, we might guess they relieved us humanely, but they think we are too dear. Let us revenge this with our pipes, ere we become rakes. For the gods know I speak this in hunger for bread, not in thirst for revenge.
Would you proceed, especially against Caius Martius?
Against him first. He's a very dog to the commonalty.
Consider you what services he has done for his country.
Very well, and could be content to give him good report for it, but that he pays himself with being proud.
Nay, but speak not maliciously.
I say unto you, what he hath done famously, he did it to that end. Though soft-conscious men can be content to say it was for his country, he did it to please his mother, and to be partly proud, which he is even till the altitude of his virtue.
What he cannot help in his nature, you account of vice in him. You must in no way say he is covetous.
If I must not, I need not be barren of accusations. He hath faults, with surplus, to tiring repetition.
Burn! Burn!
What shouts are these? The other side of the city is risen. Why stay we prating here? To the capital.
Come!
Who comes here?
Worthy Menenius Agrippa, one that had always loved the people.
He's one honest enough. Would all the rest were so.
What works, my countrymen, in hand? Where go you with bats and clubs? The matter, speak, I pray you.
Our business is not unknown to the Senate. They have had inkling this fortnight what we intend to do, which now will show them in deeds. They say poor suitors have strong breaths. They shall know we have strong arms too.
Masters, good friends, mine honest neighbours, will you undo yourselves?
We cannot, sir. We are undone already.
Good, my friends, most charitable care have the patricians of you. For your wants, your suffering in this dearth, you may as well strike at the heavens with your staves as raise them against Rome. You do slander the helms of the state, who care for you as fathers when you curse them as enemies.
Care for us? True indeed. They ne'er cared for us yet. Suffer us to famish and their storehouses crammed with grain. If the wars eat us not up, they will. And that's all the love they bear us.
I shall tell you a pretty tale. Mayhap you have heard it already, but since it serves my purpose, I shall venture to stale it a little further.
Well, sir, I'll hear it. Yet you must not think to fob off our disgrace with a tale. But, and please you deliver.
There was a time when all the body's members did rebel against the belly. Thus accused it that only like a gulf it did remain, idle and active, in the midst of the body, never bearing, like the rest, with the other instruments, which did see, hear, devise, instruct, walk, feel. The belly answered, I am the storehouse and the shop of the whole body. Remember, I do send it through the rivers of the blood, to the court, the heart, the seat of the brain. You, my good friends, this says the belly, mark me.
Aye, sir. Well, it was an answer. How apply you this?
The senators of Rome are this good belly, and you, the mutinous members. What say you, the great toe of this assembly?
I, the great toe. Why the great toe?
For that, being one of the lowest, basest, poorest, thou goest foremost, thou rascal. Thou art worst in blood to run, to seek some vantage. But make you ready your stiff bats and clubs. Rome and her rats are at point of battle, and the one side must have bail. Hail, noble Martius!
Thanks! What's the matter, you dissentious rogues? That rubbing the poor rich of your opinion, make yourself scabs.
We have ever your good word.
He that will give good words to thee will flatter beneath abhorring. What would you have, ye curs, that like nor peace nor war? The one affrights you, the other makes you proud. He that trusts to you where he should find your lions finds your hares. Where foxes, geese you are, no surer, no that is no. Coal of fire upon the ice or hailstone in the sun. Trust ye? Hang ye! With every minute you do change your mind. Call him noble that was now your hate, him vile that was now your garland. What's the matter? That in these several places of the city you cry against the noble senate, who, under the gods, hold you in awe, which else would feed on one another. What's their seeking?
For corn, at their own rates, whereof, they say, the city is well stored.
Hang on, they say. They'll sit by the fire and presume to know what's done in the capital. Would the nobility lay aside their ruth and let me use my sword, I'd make a quarry with thousands of these quartered slaves, as high as I could pick my lance.
Nay, these are almost thoroughly persuaded. For though abundantly they lack discretion, yet are they passing cowardly. But, I beseech you, what says the other troop?
They are dissolved. Hang on. They said they weren't hungry. Side forth proverbs that hunger broke stone walls, that dogs must eat. And a petition granted them, a strange one, to break the heart of generosity and make bold power look pale. They threw their caps in the air as they would hang them on the horns of the moon, shouting their emulation.
What is granted them?
5 tribunes to defend their vulgar wisdoms of their own choice. One's Junius Brutus, Sicinius Velutus, and, oh, I know not. Death, the rabble should have first unroofed the city, so prevailed with me. It will in time win upon power, and throw forth greater themes for insurrections arguing.
This is strange.
Go get your holier fragments.
Where is Caius Martius?
Here, what's the matter?
The news is Sir the Wolskies are in arms.
I'm glad on it. Then we shall have means to vent our musty superfluity. Ah, see, our best elders.
Martius, it's true that you've lately told us. The Volskis are in arms.
They have a leader, Tullus Aufidius, who'll put you to it. I sin in envying his nobility. And were I anything but what I am, I would wish me only he.
Well, you have fought together before.
We're half to half the world by the ears, and he upon my party, I'll revolt, to make only my wars on him. He is a lion that I am proud to hunt.
Then, worthy Martius, attend upon Cominius to these wars.
Aye, was your former promise.
Sir, it is. And I am constant. Titus, Lartius, thou shalt see me once again strike at Tullus' face. What, art stiff? Stand stout?
No, Caius Martius. Now lean upon one crutch and fight with t'other and stay behind this business.
Oh, true, Brett.
You're accompanied to the capital, where I know our greatest friends attend us.
Lead you on. Follow Cominius. We must follow you right where the you priority.
No, Martius.
Then still, be gone.
Nay! Let them follow. The Volskis have much corn. Take these rats thither to gnaw their garners. A worshipful mutineers, your valour puts well forth. Pray, follow.
Was ever man so proud as this Martius?
He has no equal.
When we were chosen tribunes for the people,
Marching his lip in ice.
nay, but his taunts,
Being moved, he will not spare to gird the gods.
bemock the modest moon.
The present wars devour him. He has grown too proud to be so valiant.
Such a nature, tickled with good success, disdains the shadow which he treads on at noon. Yet I do wonder his insolence can brook to be commanded under Cominius.
Fame, at the which he aims, in whom already his well grace cannot better be held, nor more attained than by a place below the first. For what miscarries shall be the general's fault, though he perform to the utmost of a man, and giddy censor will then cry out of Martius, oh, if he had borne the business.
Besides, if things go well, the good opinion that so sticks on Martius will, of his demerits, rob Cominius.
Come. Half all Cominius' honours are to Martius, though Martius earned them not. And all his faults to Martius shall be honours, though indeed in aught he merit not.
Let us hence and hear how the dispatch is made, and in what fashion, more than his singularity, he goes upon the present action.
Let's along.
So, it is your opinion, Aufidius, that they of Rome are entered in our councils, and know how we proceed.
Is it not yours? Whatever have been thought on in this state that could be brought to bodily act, for Rome had circumvention. 'Tis not 4 days gone since I heard thence. These are the words. I think I have the letter here. Yes, here it is. They have pressed the power, but it is not known whether for east or west. The dearth is great, the people mutinous, and it is rumoured, Cominius, Martius your old enemy, who is of Rome worse hated than of you, and Titus Lartius, a most valiant Roman. These 3 lead on this preparation, whither 'tis bent. Most likely 'tis for you. Consider of it.
Our army is in the field. We never yet made doubt but Rome was ready to answer us.
Nor did you think it folly to keep your great pretences veiled, till when they needs must show themselves, which in the hatching, it seemed, appeared to Rome.
Noble Aufidius, take up thy commission, hide it in thy bands, leave us to guard the Coriolanus. If they should come before us, well, for the remove, bring the army. But I think you'll find they're not prepared for us.
Oh, doubt not that. I speak from certainties, nay, more. Some parcels of their power are forth already, and only hitherward. I leave your honours. If we and Caius Martius chance to meet, 'tis sworn between us we shall ever strike till one can do no more.
The gods be with you.
And keep your honours safe.
Farewell.
I pray you to sing, or express yourself in a more comfortable sort. Were my son my husband, I would freelier rejoice in those absences wherein he won honour, than in those embracements of his bed where he would show most love. When he was but tender-bodied, and the only child of my womb, when youth with comeliness plucked all gaze his way, when for a day of king's entreaties a mother should not sell him, 1 hour from her beholding, I, considering how honour would become such a person, how it was no better than picture-like to hang by the wall, if valour made it not stir, was pleased to let him seek danger where he was like to find fame. To a cruel war I sent him, from which he returned his brows bound with oak. I tell thee, daughter, I sprang not more in joy in first hearing he was a man-child than now in seeing he has proved himself a man.
But had he died in the business, madam, how then?
Ah, well, then his good report should have been my son. I therein would have found issue. Hear me profess, had I a dozen sons, each in love alike, and none less dear to me than thine and my good Martius, I would rather 11 die nobly in battle than one surfeit voluptuously out of action.
Madam, the lady Valeria is come to visit you. Beseech you, give me leave to retire myself.
Indeed you shall not. Methinks I hear your husband's drum. Methinks I see him pull Aufidius down by the hair, as children to a bear the Volsci shunning him. Methinks I hear him stamp thus and cry thus, "Come on, you cowards, you were got in fear though you were born in Rome." His bloody brow with his mailed hand then wiping, forth he goes, like to a harvestman that's tasked to mow or lose his hire.
His bloody brow, oh Jupiter, no blood.
Away, you fool! It more becomes a man than gilt his trophy. The breasts of Hecuba, when she did suckle Hector, looked not more lovelier than Hector's forehead, when it spat forth blood at Grecian sword contending.
Heavens bless my lord from fell Aufidius.
Oh, he'll beat Aufidius' head below his knee and tramp upon his neck.
My lady's birth, good day to you.
Sweet madam.
I am glad to see your ladyship.
Oh, how do you both? You are manifest housekeepers. What are you sewing here? Oh, a fine spot in good faith. How does your little son?
I thank your ladyship. Well, good madam.
He'd rather see the swords and hear a drum than look upon his schoolmaster.
Oh, my word, the father's son. I'll swear 'tis a very pretty boy. Oh, my troth, I looked upon him on Wednesday, half an hour together. He has such a confirmed countenance. I saw him run after a gilded butterfly, and when he caught it, he let it go again, and after it again, and over he comes, catched it again, or whether his fall enraged him or how it was, he did so, set his teeth and tear it. Oh, I warrant how he mammocked it.
One of his father's moods.
Indeed, that is a noble child.
Madam, crack.
Oh, come, lay aside your stitchery. I must have you play the idle housewife with me this afternoon.
No, good madam, I will not out of doors.
She shall.
No, by your patience, I will not over the threshold till my lord return from the wars.
Fie, you confine yourself most unreasonably. Come, you must go visit the good lady that lies in.
I will wish her speedy strength and visit her with my prayers, but I cannot go thither.
Why, I pray you?
It is not to save labour, nor that I want love.
You would be another Penelope. Yet, they say, all the yarns she spun in Ulysses' absence did but fill Ithaca full of moths. Come, I would your cambric were sensible as your finger, you might leave pricking it for pity. Come, you shall go with us.
No, good madam, pardon me. Indeed, I will not forth.
In truth, La. And I'll tell you excellent news of your husband.
Good madam, there can be none yet.
Verily, I do not jest with you. There came news from him last night.
Indeed, madam.
In earnest, it's true. I heard a senator speak it. Thus it is. The Volscis have an army force, of whom Cominius, the general, has gone with one part of our Roman power. Your lord and Titus Lartius are set down before their city Coriolanus. Oh, they nothing down prevailing and making the brief wars. This is true, on mine honour, and so I pray go with us.
Give me excuse. I will obey you in everything hereafter.
Let her alone, good lady. She will but disease our better mirth.
In troth, I think she would. Farewell then, come, good sweet lady. Prithee, Virgilia, turn thy Solomons out the door and go along with us.
No, it's all right.
afraid I must not. I wish you much mirth.
Well then, farewell.
Yonder comes news. A wager they have met.
My horse to yours, no.
'Tis done.
Agreed.
Say, has our general met the enemy?
They lie in view, but have not spoke as yet.
So the good horse is mine.
I'll buy him of you.
No. I'll nor sell nor give him. Lend you him I will. For 100 years. Some in the town.
Say, how far off lie these armies?
Within this mile and half.
Then shall we hear their alarm, and they ours. Now, Mars, I prithee, make us quick in work, that we with smoking swords may march from hence to help our fielded friends. Come, blow thy blast. Tullus, Aufidius, is he within your walls?
No, nor a man that fears you less than he, that's lesser than little. Hark, our drums are bringing forth our youth. We'll break our walls rather than they shall pound us up. Our gates, which yet seem shut with but pinned with brushes, they'll open of themselves. Hark you, far out, there's Aufidius. List what work he makes amongst your cloven army.
Oh, they are at it!
Then always be our instruction. Let us hope!
They fear us not, but issue forth their city. Now place your shields before your hearts, and fight with hearts more proof than shields. Advance, brave Titus. They do disdain us much beyond our thoughts, which makes me sweat with wrath. Come on, my fellows. He that retires, I'll take him for our Volsky, and he shall feel mine edge.
He's himself alone to answer all the city.
O noble fellow! Who sensibly outdares his senseless sword, and when it bows stands up. Thou art left, Martius! A carbuncle in tie as big as thou art. Were no so rich a jewel.
Look, sir!
Oh! 'Tis Martius! Let's fetch him off or make remain alike!
And I have his.
Marins on it. I took this for silver.
See here these movers that do prize their hours at a cracked drachm. Cushions, leaden spoons, these base slaves, and yet the fight be done. Pack up. Down with them! And hark what noise the general makes. To him! There is the man of my soul's hatred, Aufidius, piercing our Romans. Then valiant Titus, take convenient numbers to make good the city, whilst I, with those that have the spirit, will haste to help Cominius.
Why, sir, thou bleedst. Thine exercise hath been too violent for a second cause of fight.
Oh, sir, praise me not. My work hath not yet warmed me. Fare you well. The blood I drip is rather physical than dangerous to me. To Aufidius thus I will appear and fight.
Now the fair goddess Fortune, fall deep in love with thee, and misguide thy opposers' swords. All gentlemen, prosperity be thy page.
Thy friend, no less than those she placeth highest. So, farewell.
Thou worthiest Martius. Go, sound thy trumpets in the marketplace. Call thither all the officers of the town, where they shall know a mind. Away!
Breathe you, my friend. We have fought well, but we do retire. Neither foolish in our stands, nor cowardly in retreat, but we will be charged again. Ah, thy news!
The citizens of Coriolanus have issued and given to Titus and to Martius battle. I saw our party to their trenches driven, and then I came away.
Though thou speakst the truth, thou speakst not well. How long is it since?
Above an hour, my lord.
An hour? 'Tis but a mile. How couldst thou in a mile confound an hour and bring thy news so late?
Spies and Volskis held me in chase that I was forced to wheel 3 or 4 miles about, else had I, sir, half an hour since brought my report.
Who's yonder? Does appear so flailed. Bears the stamp of Martius. Before time I've seen him thus.
Come I too late?
The shepherd knows not the thunder from a tabor as I know the sound of Martius's tongue. For any meaner man.
Oh, wait.
Yea, thou come not in the blood of others, but mantled in your own.
Let me click in arms as merry as when I wooed, in heart as sound as when our nuptial day was done and tapers burnt to bedward.
Flower of warriors. How is it with Titus Lartius?
Oh, as a man busied about decrees, condemning some to death and others to exile, holding Coriolanus in the name of Rome.
Holding Coriolanus? Where's that slave that told me he'd be beat to his trenches? Where is he? Bring him hither.
Let him alone. He did inform the truth, but for our gentlemen, the common file. A plague! Tribunes for them! The mouse ne'er shunned the cat as they did budge from rascals worse than they.
So how prevailed you?
Oh, will the time serve to tell? I do not think. But where is the enemy? Are you lords of the field? If not, why cease you till you are so?
Martius, we fought at a disadvantage and did retire to win our pearls.
How lies their battle? Know you on which side they have placed their men of trust?
As I guess, in the bands and the anti-arties in the ballads, the very best of trust. O'er them, Aufidius, their very heart of hope.
I do beseech you, by all the battles wherein we have fought, by all the blood we have shed together, by the vows we have made to endure friends, that you set me directly against Aufidius and his anti-arties.
Though I wish to deliver you to a gentle bath and balms applied to you, I must not deny your asking. Take those who may aid you in this action.
Those are they that most are willing. If any such be here, as it were sin to doubt, that love this paint wherein you see me smeared, let him alone, or so many so minded, wave thus to express his disposition, and follow Martius!
Martius! Martius! Martius! Martius!
Oh, me alone make you a sword of me! If these shows be not outward, which of you but is for Volskis? None of you but is able to bear against the great Aufidius a shield as hard as his! A certain number, no thanks to all, must I select from all. The rest shall bear the business in some other fight, as cause will be obeyed. And pray you to march, and I will quickly draw out my command, which men are best inclined.
March on, my fellows. Make good this ostentation, and you shall share with us all.
So let the ports be guarded. Keep your duties as I have set them down. If I do send, dispatch those sentries to our aid. The rest will serve for a short holding. If we lose the field, we cannot keep the town.
Have faith in our cast, sir.
Hence and shut your gates upon us. Our guider, come. To the Roman camp conduct us.
I will fight with none but thee, for I do hate thee worse than a promise breaker.
We hate alike. Not Africans a serpent I abhor more than thy fame and envy. Fix thy foot.
Let the first budger die the other's slave, and the gods doom him after.
If I fly, Martius, hollow me like a hare.
Within these 3 hours, Tullus, alone I fought within your Coriolanus walls and made what work I pleased. 'Tis not my blood wherein thou seest me masked. For thy revenge, wrench up thy power to the highest.
Wert thou the Hector that was the whip of your bragged progeny, thou shouldst not scape me here. Officious and not valiant! You have shamed me with your condemned second!
I should tell thee, o'er this thy day's work, thou wilt not believe thy deeds. But I will report them, and senators back in Rome shall mingle smiles with tears. A great petition shall attend and shrug, in the end ignore. And the ladies, well, they shall be frightened and gladly quake.
O General, here's the steed. We the comparison thou hast beheld.
Oh, pray now, no more. My mother, who has a charter to extol her blood when she does praise thee, grieves me. I have done as you have done.
Thou shalt not be the grave of thy deserving. Rome must know the value of her own. 'Twere worse than a concealment than a theft to hide your deeds. So, I beseech you, in sign of who you are, not to reward what you have done before our army hears me.
I have some wounds upon me, and they smart to hear themselves remembered.
All the horses, whereof we've taken good and in good store, all the treasure in this field achieved and this city, I will render you a tenth, to be taken forth before the common distribution, at your only choice.
I thank you, General, but I cannot make my heart consent to take a bribe to pay my sword. I do refuse it, and stand upon my common part with those that have beheld the doing.
Martius!
Martius! Martius! May these same instruments which you profane sound no more, never more, I say. For that I have not washed my nose that bled, or foiled some debile wretch, ye shout me forth in acclamations hyperbolical, as if I love my little should be dieted in praises sauced with lies.
You are too modest, Caius Martius. Let it be known that Caius Martius, sir, wears this war's garb. In token of which, my noble steed, known to the camp, I give you, with all its trim belongings, and from this time forth, for all that you did in Coriolanus, let it be known that we shall call you, with all the clamour and applause of the host, Caius Martius Coriolanus!
Caius Martius Coriolanus!
There is title known ever.
I will go wash. And when my face is fair, you shall perceive whether I blush or no. Howbeit, I thank you. I need to stride your steed, and will at all times undercrest your good addition to the fairness of my power.
Excellent. And so to our tent. Ere we do repose, we shall write to Rome of our success. Titus Lartius, you must to Coriolanus back and send to Rome their best, with whom we may articulate for their good and ours.
I shall, my lord.
The gods begin to mock me. I, who now refused such princely gifts, am bound to beg of my lord general.
What is it? Take it, it's yours.
I sometime lay here in Coriolanus at a poor man's house. He used me kindly. He cried to me. I saw him prisoner. But then Aufidius was within my view, and wrath overwhelmed my pity. I request you give my poor host freedom.
Ah, well begged. If he were the butcher of my own son, he would be as free as the Titus delivered.
Coriolanus, his name.
I truly forgot. I'm weary. Yea, my memory is tired. Have we no wine here?
Let's to our tent. The blood on your visage dries. It must be looked at. Come.
The town is taken!
Sir. 12 minutes will deliver back on good condition.
Condition! I would I were a Roman, for I cannot, being a Volsci, be that I am. Condition! What good condition could a treaty find in the Parthenism mercy? 5 times, Martius, I have fought with thee. So often hast thou beat me, and wouldst do so, I think, should we encounter as often as we eat. By the elements! If again I meet him beard to beard, he's mine, or I'm his.
He's the devil.
Bolder, though not so subtle. My valor's poison, with only suffering stained by him. Where I find him, were it at home, upon my brother's guard, even there, against the hospitable cannon, would I wash my fierce hand in his heart. Go you to the city. Learn how 'tis held, and what they are that must be hostages for Rome.
Will not you go?
I am attended at the cypress grove. I pray you, 'tis south the city mills. Bring me word thither how the world goes, that to the pace of it I may spur on my journey.
I shall, sir.
shall have news tonight.
Good or bad?
Not according to the prayer of the people, for they love not Martius.
Nature teaches beasts to know their friends.
In what enormity is Martius stored, that you two have not in abundance?
He's poor in no one fault, but stored with all.
Especially in pride.
You blame Martius for being proud?
We do it not alone, sir.
I know. You can do very little alone, for your helps are many, without which your actions would grow wondrous single.
What then, sir?
Then you shall encounter a brace of unmerited, testing, proud, violent magistrates, alias fools, as any in Rome.
Menenius, you are known well enough too.
I am known to be a humorous patrician, one who loves the cup of hot wine, with nary a drop of a lame Tiber in't. One who speaks, one who converses more with the buttock of the night than the forehead of the morning. What I think, I utter, and spend my malice in my breath, said to be something imperfect in favouring the first complaint, hasty and tinder-like upon too trivial emotion.
Come, sir, come. We know you well enough.
You know neither me, yourselves, nor anything. You are ambitious for poor knaves' caps and legs. You would wear out a good wholesome forenoon in hearing a cause between an orange wife and a faucet seller. You are a pair of strange ones.
Come. You are well understood to be a perfect driver for the table, than a necessary bencher in the capital.
God den to your worships. More of your conversation would infect my brain, being the herdsman of the beastly plebeians. I will be bold to take my leave of you. Oh, how now, my as fair as noble ladies, and the moon were she earthly no nobler. Whither do you follow your eyes so fast?
Honourable Menenius, my boy Martius approaches. For the love of Juno, let's go.
Martius coming home.
I am with most worthy approbation.
Take my cap, Jupiter, and thank thee. Martius coming home.
Nay, it is true.
Here's a letter from him. The state hath another, his wife another, and I think there's one at home for you.
I will make my very house real tonight. A letter for me?
Yes, certain I saw it. There's a letter for you.
Is he wounded? He was wont to be wounded.
No, no.
He is wounded. I thank the gods for it.
So do I too, if it not be too much. Brings a victory in his pocket. The wounds become him.
On his brows, Menenius, he comes the third time home with the oaken garland.
Has he disciplined Aufidius soundly?
Titus Lartius writes. They fought, but Aufidius got off.
'Twas time for him to, I'll warrant him that. And he had stayed behind him. I would not have been so Aufidius for all the chests in Coriolanus, nor the gold that's in them. Is the Senate possessed of this?
Come, come, come. Yes, the Senate hath a letter from the general in which he gives my son the whole name of the war. He hath in his action outdone his former deeds doubly.
In truth, there's wondrous things spoke of him.
Wondrous, I'll warrant you, and not without his true purchasing.
The gods grant them true.
True? Pow wow.
True? I'll be sworn they are true. Noble tribunes, Martius coming home. He has more cause to be proud. Where is he wounded?
Oh, in the shoulder and in the left arm, where there shall be large cicatrices for him to show when he shall stand for his place. He received in the repulse of Tarquin 7 wounds upon the body.
2 in the neck and 1 in the thigh. There's 9 that I know.
Before this engagement, he had 25 wounds upon him.
And now it's 27, and every gash was an enemy's grave.
These are the ushers of Martius. Before him, he carries noise, and behind him, he leaves tears. Death, that dark spirit, in his nervy arm doth lie, which being advanced, declines, and so men die.
Know, Rome, that all alone Martius did fight within Corioli gates, where he hath won with fame a name to Caius Martius. This in honour follows Coriolanus. Welcome to Rome, renowned Coriolanus.
No more, I say! Does offend my heart. Pray now, no more.
Look, sir. Your mother.
Oh. You have, I know, petitioned all the gods for my prosperity.
Oh, my gentle Gaius, worthy Martius, and now by deed achieving honour newly named, what is it I must call thee? Coriolanus? But oh, that way.
Oh, nay, my gracious silence. Hail! Oh, wouldst thou have laughed had I come coffined home that weeps to see me triumph? My dear, such eyes the widows of Corioli wear, and mothers that lack sons.
Now, the gods crown thee.
Ah, and live you yet? Oh, my dear lady, pardon.
Welcome, sir.
Welcome home, and welcome general, and welcome all.
100,000 welcomes. I could weep and I could laugh. I am light and heavy. Welcome.
Ever right.
Menenius, ever.
Give way there, and go on.
Your hand and yours. Ere in our own house I do shake my head. The good patricians must be visited, from whom I have received not only greetings, but with them change of honours.
I have lived to see the very inheritance of my wishes, and the buildings of my fancy. Only there's one thing wanting, which I doubt not our Rome will cast upon thee.
No, good mother, that I had rather be their servant in my way than sway with them in theirs.
Come, onto the counter.
All tongues speak of him, and the blared sights are spectacle to see him. Your prattling nurse into a rapture lets her baby cry while she chats him. Stall bulks' windows are smothered up, lets filled and ridges hoarse with variable complexions, all agreeing in earnestness to see him. Such a pother, as if that whatsoever god that leads him was slyly crept into his human powers and gave him graceful posture.
All of a sudden, I warrant him consul.
Then our office majoring his power goes sleep.
He cannot temperately transport his honours from where he should begin and end, but will lose those he hath won.
I heard him swear, were he to stand for consul, never would he appear in the marketplace.
'Tis right.
It was his word. Oh, he would miss it rather than carry it, but by the suit of the gentry to him and the desire of the nobles.
I wish no better than have him hold that purpose and put it in execution.
'Tis most like he will.
It shall be to him then as our good wills, a sure destruction.
So it must fall out to him, or our authorities. For an end, we must suggest the people in what hatred he still hath held them, that to his power he would have made them mules, silenced their pleaders, and his property their freedoms.
This, as you say, suggested at such time as his soaring insolence shall touch the people, which time shall not want if he be put upon it, and that's as easy as to set dogs on sheep, will be his fire to kindle their dry stubble, and their blaze shall darken him forever.
What's the matter?
You are sent for to the capital. 'Tis thought that Coriolanus shall be consul. The commons made a shower and thunder with their caps and shouts. I never saw the like.
Let's to the capital, and carry with us ears and eyes for the time, but hearts for the event.
Have with you.
Oh, come, they're almost here. Tell me, how many stand for consulships?
3, they say, but 'tis thought that every one Coriolanus will carry it.
Oh, that's a brave fellow, but his vengeance proud and loves not the common people.
Ah, faith, there be many great men that have flattered the people, who near love them, and there be many that have loved they know not. Wherefore, so that, if they love they know not why, they hate upon no better grounds. Therefore, for Coriolanus, neither to care whether they love or hate him, manifest the true knowledge he has in their disposition. And out of his noble carelessness, lets him plainly see it.
If he did not care whether he had their love or no, he waved indifferently twixt things and neither good nor harm. But he seeks their hate with a greater devotion than can render it him, and leaves nothing undone that may fully discover him their opposite.
He hath himself worthy of his country, and his ascent is not by such easy degrees as those who haven't been supple or cautious to the people, bonneted, without any further deed to have them at and into their estimation and report.
True, true. He's a worthy man. Now, make quick, they're coming. Speak, good Cominius. Leave nothing out for length, and make us think while there stays defective for requital, when we to stretch it out. Ah, masters of the people, we do request your kindest ears, and after your loving motion toward the common body, to yield what passes here.
We are convented on a pleasing treaty, and have hearts inclinable to honour and advance the purpose of our assembly.
Which the rather we shall be blessed to do, if he remember a kinder value of the people than he hath here to prize them at.
That's off. That's off. How would you rather have been silent? Please you to hear Cominius speak?
Most willingly, yet my caution was more pertinent than the rebuke you give it.
He loves your people, but tie him not to be their bedfellow. Worthy Cominius, speak. Nay, keep your place.
Sit, Coriolanus, never ashamed to hear what you have nobly done.
Your Honour's pardon, I'd rather have my wounds to heal again than hear say how I got them.
Sir, I hope my words disbenched you not.
No, yet oft when blows have made me stay, I have fled from words. You soothe not, therefore hurt not. But your people, I love them as they weigh. Pray now. Sit down. I'd rather have one scratch my head in the sun when the alarm was struck than idly sit and hear my nothings monster. Proceed, Cominius.
Shall not have voice. The deeds of Coriolanus must not be uttered feebly. Valor, they say, is the greatest virtue, which most dignifies the haver. And at 16 years, when Tarquin made a head for Rome, he fought beyond the mark of others. Tarquin self-humate, and he did strike him at the knee. And before and in Corioli, he stopped the flyers, and by his own rare example, turned cowards from terror into sport, and did, with sudden reinforcement, hit Corioli like a planet.
No, worthy man, he cannot but with measure fit the honours which we devise him.
Our spoils he kicked at. He treats things precious as if it was the common muck of the world. He covets less than malice itself could give. He rewards his deeds by doing them, and thereto spends his time to end it. He's right, noble. Let him be called for.
Call Coriolanus.
He doth appear.
The Senate, Coriolanus, are well pleased to make thee consul. I do earn them still my life and services. It now befits you address the people Oh, I do beseech you, let me leave that custom. I cannot put on the gown, stand naked, and entreat them for my wound's sake to give their suffrage. Pray me that I may pass this doing.
Sir, the people must have their voices. Neither will they bate one jot of ceremony.
Put them not to it.
It is a part that I shall blush in acting, and might well be taken from the people.
Mark you that?
To brag unto them, thus I did, and thus, to show them the unaching scars which I should hide, as if I'd received them for the hire of their breath only.
As your predecessors have. God, befits you. Take your honour with your form.
You see how he intends to use the people. May they perceive his intent. He will request them as if he did contemn what he required should be in them to give.
Come, we'll inform them of our proceedings here. On the marketplace, I know they do attend us. Once, if he do require our voices, we ought not to deny him.
We may, sir, if we will. We have power in ourselves to do it. But it is a power that we have no power to do. For if he show us his wounds and tell us his deeds, we are to put our tongues into those wounds and speak for them. Ingratitude is monstrous, and for the multitude to be ungrateful were to make a monster of the multitude.
And to make us no better thought of, a little help will serve. For once we stood up about the corn, he himself stuck not to call us the many-headed multitude.
We have been called so of many. Not that our heads are some brown, some black, some auburn, some bold, but that our wits are so diversely colored. Are you all resolved to give your voices? But that's no matter. The greater part carries it. I say, if you would incline to the people, there was never a worthier man. Here he comes. And in the gown of humility. Mark his behavior. We are not to stay all together, but to come by him where he stands, by ones, by twos, and by threes. He's to make his requests by particulars, when every one of us has a single honor in giving him our own voices with our own tongues.
Sir, you are not right. You not know that the worthiest men have done it.
What must I say? I pray, sir, cannot bring my tongue to such a pace. Look, sir, my wounds. I got them in the service of my country when some certain of your brethren roared and ran from the noise of our own drums.
Tell me the gods. You must not think of that. You must have them think upon you.
Think on me? I would they would forget me, like the virtues that our divines lose by them.
You'll mar all. Pray you, speak to them, I pray, in wholesome manner.
Bid them wash their faces. Keep their teeth clean. So, here comes a brace. You know the cause of my standing here?
We do, sir. Tell us what hath brought you to it.
Mine own desert.
Your own desert?
Aye, but not mine own desire.
How not your own desire?
No, 'twas never yet my desire to trouble the poor with begging.
You must think, if we give you anything, we hope to gain by you.
Why then, I pray, your price of the consulship?
The price is to ask it kindly.
Oh, kindly then, I pray, let me have it. I have wounds to show you which shall be yours in private. Your voices, what say you?
You shall have, worthy sir.
A match. There's in all 2 worthy voices begged. I have your arms, adieu.
This is something odd. And 'twere to give again. But it is no matter.
Pray you, if it stand to the tune of your voices, that I may be consul, I have here the customary gown.
You have deserved nobly of your country, and you have not deserved nobly.
You're an ignorant.
You've been a scourge to her enemies, you've been a rod to her friends. You have not indeed loved the common people.
You should account me the more virtuous that I have not been common in my love. I will, sir, flatter the sworn brother, the people, to earn a dearer estimation of them. It is a condition they account gentle. And if the wisdom of their choice is rather to have my hat than my heart, I will practice the insinuating nod and be off to them most counterfeitly. That is, sir, I will counterfeit the bewitchment of a popular man, and give it bountiful to the desirers. Then, beseech you, I may be consul.
We hope to find in you our friend, and therefore give we our voices heartily. You have received many wounds for your country.
I will not seal your knowledge by showing them. I'll make much of your voices, and so trouble you no further.
The gods grant you joy, sir, heartily.
Most sweet voices. Better it is to die, better to starve, than crave the hire which first we do deserve. Why, in this wolvish toge, should I stand here to beg of Hob and Dick that do appear their needless vouchers? Custom calls me to it. And what custom will in all things should we do? The dust on antique time would lie unswept, and mountainous error be too highly heaped for truth to o'erappear. Rather than fool it so, let the high office and the honour go to one that would do thus. I'm half through. The one part suffered, the other will I do. Your voices, for your voices I have fought, watched for your voices bare of wounds 24 odd. Of battles thrice 6 have I seen and heard of, for your voices done many things, some less, some more. Your voices, indeed I would be consul.
He has done nobly, cannot go without any honest man's voice.
Worthy voices.
Coriolanus, you have stood your limitation, and the tribunes do endue you with the people's voice. Remains that, in the official marks invested, you anon do meet the Senate.
Is this done?
The custom of request you have discharged. The people do admit you and are summoned to meet anon upon your approbation.
Where, at the Senate House?
There, Coriolanus.
May I change these garments?
You may, sir.
That I'll straight do, and knowing myself again, repair to the Senate House.
I'll keep you company. Will you along?
We stay here for the people.
Hail, sir. He has it now, and by his looks methinks 'tis warm at heart.
With a proud heart he wore his humble weed. Will you dismiss the people?
How now, my masters? Have you chose this man?
He has our voices. We pray the gods he may deserve your loves.
Amen, sir. To my poor, unworthy notice, he mocked us when he begged our voices.
Certainly he flouted us downright. No, it is his kind of speech. He did not mock us.
Not one amongst us, save yourself, but said he used us scornfully. He should have showed us his marks of merit, wounds received for his country.
Why, so he did, I'm sure.
No one saw.
No one saw.
He said he had words, which he could show in private, and with his hat, thus waving it in scorn. I would be consul, says he. H custom, but by your voices will not so permit me. Your voices, therefore. When we trumpet that, hear us. I thank you for your voices, thank you, your most sweet voices. Now that you have left your voices,
I have no further with you. Was not this mockery? Why, either you are ignorant to see it, or sing it of such childish friendliness as to yield your voices.
Could you not have told him as you were lessoned, when he had no power, which was a petty servant of the state? He was your enemy, ever spake against your liberties. You should have said that, as his deeds did claim no less than what he stood for, so his gracious nature will think upon you for your voices and translate his malice towards you into love, standing your friendly lord.
Thus to have said, as you were fore-advised, would have touched his spirit, galled his surly nature, which easily endures not article tying him to aught. So putting him to rage, you should obtain advantage of his choler, and passed him unelected.
Did you perceive that he did solicit you in free contempt when he did need your loves? And do you think that content shall not be bruising to you when he hath power to crush?
Have you ere now denied the asker? Or now again of him that did not ask but mock, bestow your suit for tongues?
He's not confirmed. We may deny him yet. And will deny him. I'll have 500 voices of that sound.
Aye, twice 500, and their friends to beat them. Get you hence instantly, and tell those friends they have chose a consul that will from them take their liberties, make them of normal voicemen dogs that are as often beat for barking as therefore kept to do so.
Let them assemble, and on a safer judgment, or revoke your ignorant election. Enforce his pride and his old hate unto you. Besides, forget not with what contempt he wore the humble weed.
Lay a fault on us, your tribunes, that we laboured no impediment between, but that you must cast your election on him.
Say you chose him more after our commandment than as guided by your own true affections. Lay the fault on us.
Aye, spare us not. Say you never had done it. Harp on that still, but by our putting on. And presently, when you have drawn your number, repair to the capital.
We shall almost all repent of their election.
Come, let them go on. This mutiny were better put in hazard. If, as his nature is, he fall in rage with their refusal, both observe and answer the vantage of his anger.
To the capital come. We shall be there before the stream of the people, and this shall seem as partly 'tis their own which we have goaded onward.
Tullus Aufidius had then made new head.
He had, my lord, and that it was which caused our swifter composition.
So then the Volsci stand but as at first, ready when time shall prompt to make road upon us again.
They are worn, my lord consul, and hardly in our ages will we see their banners wave again.
Saw you, Aufidius?
On safeguard he came to me, and did curse against the Volscis, for they had so vilely yielded the town. He's retired to Antium.
Spoke he of me?
He did, my lord. How often he had met you, sword to sword, that of all things upon the earth, he hated your person the most, that he would pawn his fortunes to hopeless restitution, so that he might be called your vanquisher.
At Antium, lives he?
At Antium.
I wish I had a cause to seek him there, to oppose his hatred fully. Welcome home. Oh, behold, the tribunes of the people, the tongues of the common mouth. I do despise them, for they do prank them in authority against all noble sufferance.
No further.
What is that?
It will be dangerous to go on.
What?
No further.
What makes this change?
The matter? Has he not passed the noble and the common?
Cominius, no.
Have I had children's voices?
Tribunes, give way, you shall to the marketplace.
The people are incensed against him.
Are these your herd? Must these have voices that can yield them now and straight disclaim their tongues? What are your offices? You being their mouths, why rule you not their teeth? Have you not set them on? 'Tis a purpose thing, and grows by plot to curb the will of the nobility. Suffer it, and live with such as cannot rule, nor ever will be ruled.
Call it not a plot. The people cry you mocked them, and of late, when corn was given them gratis, you repined.
Why, this was known before.
Not to them all.
Have you informed them since?
How I informed them?
You are like to do such business.
Not unlike each way to better yours.
Well, why then should I be consul? By yon clouds, let me deserve so ill as you, and make me your fellow tribune.
You show too much of that which makes the people stir. If you will pass to where you are bound, you must ask your way, which you are out of, with a gentle spirit, or never be so noble as a consul, nor yoke with him for tribune.
The people are abused, they're set upon, but this paltering becomes not rogue, nor does Coriolanus deserve this dishonourable run, laid falsely in the plain way of his merit.
Tell me of corn! This was my speech, and I'll speak it again.
Not in this heat, sir, now.
Oh, now as I live, I will. My noble friends, I crave their pardons. For the mutable, rank-scented many, let them behold me as I do not flatter, and therein behold themselves. I say again, in soothing them, we nourish against our senate the cockle of rebellion, insolence, sedition, which we ourselves have ploughed for, sowed, and scattered by mingling them with us, the honoured number, who lack not virtue, no, nor power, but that which they have given to beggars.
No more words, we beseech you.
Now no more. As for my country, I have shed my blood, not fearing outward force. So shall my lungs coin words until they decay. Against the measles which we do disdain should tetter us, yet sought the very way to catch them.
You speak of the people as if you were a God to punish, not a man of their infirmity.
'Twere well we let the people know it.
But what, his collar? Collar? Were I as patient as the midnight sleep, by Jove, 'twould be my mind.
It is a mind that shall remain a poison where it is, not poison any further.
Shall remain. Hear you this Triton of the minnows. Mark you her absolute shall.
Just when the
shall. Oh, you good but most unwise patricians. You grave but reckless senators, have you given Hydra here to choose an officer? You are plebeians if they be senators. They choose their magistrate, and such a one as she, who puts her shall, her popular shall, against a graver bench than ever frowned in Greece. By Jove himself, it makes the consuls base! And my soul aches to know, when two authorities are up, neither supreme, how soon confusion may enter twixt the gap of both, and take the one by the other.
Sir, on to the marketplace.
Whoever gave that counsel to give forth the corn of the storehouse gratis, as was used sometime in Greece, though there the people had more absolute power, I say they nourished disobedience and fed the ruin of the state.
Why shall people give one that speaks us their voice?
I'll give you my reasons, more worthier than your voices. They know that the corn was not our recompense, resting well assured that ne'er did service for it, being pressed to the wars. Even when the navel of the state was touched, they would not thread the gates. This kind of service did not deserve corn gratis. Being in the wars, their mutinies and revolts, wherein they showed most valour, spoke not for them. The accusation which they have often made against the Senate, all cause unborn, could never be the motive of our so frank donation. We debase the nature of our seats, and make the rabble call our cares fears, which will in time break ope the locks of the Senate and bring in the crows to peck the eagles.
Enough with over measure.
No, take more, beseech you. You that prefer a noble life to a long, and wish to jump a body with a dangerous physic, that's sure of death without it, at once pluck out the multitudinous tongue. Let them not lick the sweet, which is their poison. Your dishonour mangles true judgment, and bereaves the state of that integrity which should become it, not having the power to do the good it would, for the ill that doth control it.
Has said enough, has spoken like a traitor, and shall answer as traitors do.
Thou wretch, despite our well need, what should the people do with these bold tribunes? In a rebellion then were they chosen. In a better hour, let what is meet be said, it must be meet. And throw their power in the dust.
Manifest treason! This a consul? No!
The Aedile-also, let him be apprehended!
Down with him! Down with the people, in whose name myself attach thee as a traitorous innovator, a foe to the public will. Obey, I charge thee, and follow to thine answer.
Hence, old goat! Hands up! Hands, you rotten thing, or I'll shake thy bones out of thy garments!
Help ye, citizens! Here's he that would take from you all your power!
Seize him, Aediles!
Let's hear our tribunes. Peace.
Speak!
Speak!
You are at point to lose your liberties. Coriolanus would have all from you. Coriolanus, whom late you have named for consul.
Fie! This is the way to kindle, not to quench, to unbuild a city and to lay all flat.
What is the city but the people?
The people are the city!
By the consent of all, we were established the people's magistrates.
So obey!
This will lay the city flat from the roof to the foundations of Barriers Hall, which distinctly ranges from heaps and piles to ruin.
This deserves death.
Yes, death!
Or let us stand to our authority, or let us lose it. We do here pronounce. Upon the part of the people in whose power we were elected theirs, Coriolanus is worthy of present death.
Therefore, lay hold of him, bear him to the rock Tarpeian, and from thence into destruction cast him.
Aedile, seize him! Down with him!
Down with
Yield,
Coriolanus!
Beseech you, noble tribunes, hear me but a word. Peace. Temperately proceed to what you would thus violently redress.
Sir, those cold ways that seem like prudence help are poisonous where the disease is violent. Lay hands upon him and bear him to the rock! To the rock! Down!
I'll die here. There's some among you have beheld me fighting. Come try upon yourselves what ye have seen me.
Down with that sword, tribunes, withdraw
Lay
alive!
hands upon him!
Help him!
Come along, sir. Come along. I would they were barbarians as they are, though in Rome littered, and not the Romans as they are not, though carved in the porch of the Capitol.
Put not your worthy rage into your noble tongue. One time shallow another.
On the fair ground I could beat 40 of them, and I could take a brace of the bestness of those tribunes' butts. 'Tis odds beyond arithmetic, and manhood is called foolery when he rages against falling fabric. Let's hence before the tag return. For their rage doth overbore what they previously bore.
Pray you, be gone. Let me see whether my old wit be in request with those that have but little.
Come,
this must be patchwork cloth of any colour.
The man has marred his fortune.
His nature is too noble for the world. He would not flatter Neptune for his trident, nor Jove's powers to thunder.
Here's goodly work.
I would they were at bed.
I would they were in Tiber. What the vengeance? Do ye not speak unfair?
Where is this viper that would depopulate the city and be every man himself?
Worthy tribunes, consider this. He has been bred i' the war, since first he could draw a sword, and is ill-schooled in bolted language. Meal and bran he throws together without distinction. Come, give me leave. I'll go to him and undertake to bring him where perhaps he shall answer.
Oh, noble tribunes! Is this the only way? The other course will prove too bloody, and the end of it unknown to the beginning.
Noble Menenius, be you then as the people's officer. Masters, lay down your weapons.
Go not home.
Meet upon the marketplace. We'll attend you there, where, if you bring not Coriolanus, we'll proceed in our first way.
I'll bring him to you. Let me desire your company. He must come, or what is worse will follow.
Pray you, let's do it.
Let them pull all about mine ears. Present me with death on the wheel, or at wild horses' heels. Or pile 10 hills on the Tarpeian rock, that the precipitation might downstretch below the beam of sight. Yet will I still be thus to them.
Ah, you'll do the nobler.
I muse my mother does not approve me further, who was wont to call them woolen vassals, things created to buy and sell with groats, to show bare heads in congregations, yawn, be still, and wonder, when one but of my ordinance stood up to speak of peace or war. I talk of you. Why did you wish me milder? Would you have me false to my nature? Rather say I play the man I am.
Oh, sir, I would rather you had put your power well on before you'd worn it out.
Let it go.
You might have been enough the man you are, with striving less to be so. Lesser had been the thwartings of your disposition, if you had not shown them how you were disposed ere they lacked power to cross you.
Let him hang! I am Burnham. You must return amended. There's no other remedy, unless by not so doing, our good city cleave in the midst and perish.
Pray be counselled. I have a heart as little apt as yours, but yet a brain that leads my use of anger to better vantage.
What must I do? Return to the tribunes.
Well, what then? What then?
Repent what you have spoke.
For them? I cannot do it to the gods. Must I then do it to them?
You are too absolute. Though therein you can never be too noble. But when extremities speak, I've heard you say that honour and policy, like unsevered friends, in the war do grow together.
Oh, tax. Good demand.
If it be honour in your wars, to seem the same you are not, for the which you adopt your policy, how is it less or worse that it shall hold companionship with honour in peace as in war, since that to both it stands in like request?
Why force you this?
Because now it lies you on to speak to the people, not by your own instruction, nor by the matter which your heart prompts you, but with words that are but rooted in your tongue, though but bastards and syllables of no allowance to your bosom's truth. Now this no more dishonours you at all, than to take in a town with gentle words. Go to them, this bonnet in thy hand, and here be with them, thus far having stretched it, thy knee bussing the stones, for in such business action is eloquence. And say to them, you art their soldier. Pray, I know thou hadst rather follow thine enemy in a fiery gulf than flatter him in a bow. Here is Cominius.
After speak to the marketplace, 'tis fit you make strong party, or defend yourself with calmness or absence. All is still in anger.
Only fair speech.
Aye, I think it'll serve if he can thereto brain his spirit.
He must and will. Prithee now, say you will and go about it.
Must I go show them my unbarred Scot? Must I with base tongue give my noble heart a lie that it must bear? Well, I will do it. Yet were there but this simple plot to lose, this mould of Martius, they to dust should grind it and throw it against the wind. You've put me now to such a part that never I shall discharge to the life. Come, we'll prompt you.
Prithee now, as thou hast said, my praises made thee first a soldier, so to have my praise for this, perform a part thou hast not done before.
Well, I must do it. Away my disposition, and possess me some harlot's spirit. My throes of war be turned into a pipe, small as a eunuch. My armoured knees, which bowed but in my stirrup, now bend like his that hath received an arms. Oh, I will not do it, lest I cease to honour mine own truth, and by my body's action teach my mind a most inherent baseness.
At thy choice, then. To beg of thee is more my dishonour than thou of them. Come all to ruin. Let thy mother rather feel thy pride than fear thy dangerous stoutness, for I mock at death with as great a heart as thou. Thy valiantness was mine, thou suck'st it from me, but owe thy pride thyself.
Pray be content, mother. Going to the marketplace, like me no more. I'll mountebank their loves, cob their hearts from them, and come home beloved of all the trades in Rome. Look, I'm going. Commend me to my wife. I'll return, Consul, or never trust to what my tongue can do in the way of flattery further.
Do thy will.
Away. The tribunes do attend you. 'Tis fair you answer mildly, because they are preparing accusations against you more strong than ever.
Well, the word is mildly. Pray you, let us go. I will answer them in mine honour, even if they accuse me by invention.
Ah, but mildly?
Well, mildly be it then. Mildly.
Assemble presently the people hither, and when they hear me say, it shall be so in the right and strength of the commons, be it either for fine, for death, or banishment. Let them, if I say fine, cry fine. If death, cry death, insisting on the old prerogative and power and truth of the cause.
I shall inform them.
And when such time they have begun to cry, let them not cease, but with a din confused, enforce the present execution of what we chance to sentence.
Very well.
Make them be strong and ready for this hint when we shall have to give it them.
Go about it. Put him to collar straight. Then he speaks what's in his heart, and that is there which looks with us to break his neck.
Well, here he comes.
Come, I do beseech you.
As an ostler, that for the poorest piece will bear the knave by the volume. The honoured gods keep Rome in safety, and her chairs of justice supplied with worthy men. Plant love among us, throng our large temples with the shows of peace, and not our streets with war.
Amen. Amen.
Draw near, ye people.
List to your tribune. Audience, peace, I say.
First, hear me speak.
Well, say, peace, ho.
Shall I be charged no further than this present? Must all determine here?
We do demand, if if you submit you to the people's voices, allow their officers, and are content to suffer lawful censure for such faults as shall be proved upon you.
I am content. What is the matter that being passed for consul with full voice, I'm so dishonoured that the very hour you take it away again?
Answer to us.
Say that! Say then. 'Tis true. I ought so.
We charge you that you have contrived to take from Rome all Caesar's office, and wind yourself into a power tyrannical, for which you are a traitor to the people.
How?
Nay, temperately your promise.
The fires in the lowest hell fold in the people. Call me their traitor? Oh, injurious tribune. Within thine eye sat 20,000 deaths, in thy hand clutched as many millions, in thy lying tongue both numbers. I would not buy their mercy for the price of one fair word.
Mark you this, people.
To the rock, to the rock again!
We need not put new matter to his charge. What you have seen him do and heard him speak, beating your officers, cursing yourselves, opposing laws with strokes, and here, defying those whose great power should try him. Even this, so criminal and in such capital kind, deserves the extremest death.
Yes, death!
But since he hath served well for Rome...
What are you praise of service?
I talk of that know it.
You?
Is this the promise you made your mother?
Now I know no further. Let them pronounce the steep Tarpeian death, vagabond exile, reign, pent to linger with but 1 grain a day. I would not buy their mercy at the price of 1 fair word.
In the name of the people and the power of us, the tribunes, we, even from this instant, banish him our city. In peril of precipitation from off the rock Tarpeian, never more to enter our Rome gates. In the people's name, I say, it shall be so!
It shall be so! It shall be so! It shall be so! It shall be so! Hear me, my nobles, my common friends!
Sessions, no more hearing!
Let me speak. I have been consul. I can show for Rome her enemies' marks upon me. I love my country's good. With more respect, more love, more honour than my own life. So I speak
We know your drift. Speak what?
There's no more to be said, but he is banished. As enemy to the people and his country, it shall be so!
It shall be so! It shall be so! It shall be so! It shall be so!
Yes!
Common cry of cowards! Whose breath I hate as reek of the rotten fens! Whose loves I prize as the dead carcasses of unburied men that do corrupt my air! I banish you! And here remain with your uncertainty. Let every feeble rumour shake your heart. Thus I turn my back. There is a world elsewhere.
The people's enemy is gone! He's gone!
The people's enemy is gone! He's banished! He's gone!
See him out at gates, and follow him as he has followed you with all despite. Give him deserved vexation, and have a guard attend you through the city.
Come, come, let us follow him. The gods preserve you, noble tribunes. Come, follow him to our gates.
He's gone, will no further. Bid them all home. The nobility are vexed, who we see have sided in their behalf.
Now we have shown our power. Let us seem humbler after it is done than when it was a-doing. Here comes his mother.
Let's not meet her. Why? They say she's mad.
They have taken note of us. Keep on your way.
You're well met. A hoarded plague of the gods require your loves.
Come, peace, be not so loud.
If that I could for weeping, they should hear. Nay, you shall hear. Would you be gone?
You shall stay too. I would I had the power to say so to my husband.
Art thou mankind?
I, fool, is that a shame? Was not a man my father, fool? Hast thou foxship to banish him who hath struck more blows for Rome than thou hast spoken words?
Oh, blessed heavens!
I would my son were in Arabia, thy tribe before him, and his good sword in his hand.
What then?
What then? He'd make a man of thy posterity!
Bastards, and all. Good man, the wounds that he doth bear for Rome.
Come.
I wish he had continued to his country the way he began, and not unknit himself the noble knot he made.
I would he had.
'Twas you incensed the rabble. Canst thou conjudge as fitly of his worth as I can of those things which heaven will not have earth to know?
Pray, let us go.
Take my prayers with you. Oh, I would the gods had nothing else to do but requite my curses. Could I but meet them once a day, it would unclog my heart of what lies heavy on it.
You have told them home, and by my troth you have cause. You'll sup with me?
Anger's my meat. I'll sup upon myself and so shall starve for feeding. Oh, leave this faint fueling, and lament as I do in anger, Juno-like. Come, come, come.
Fie.
Leave your tears. A brief farewell. The beast with many heads bucks me out. Nay, mother, where is your ancient courage? You were used to say that extremity is the trial of spirits, that common chances common men could bear. You were used to load me with precepts that would make invincible the heart that calmed
Oh, heavens.
Prithee, woman.
Oh, red pestilence strike all the trades in Rome, and occupations perish.
What? I shall be loved when I'm lacked.
My first son, whither wilt thou go? Take good Cominius with thee a while. Determine on some course, rather than a wild exposture to each chance that stands in the way before thee.
Oh, the gods! I'll follow thee a month. We shall devise where thou shalt stay, how thee shall hear from us, and we of thee. So if time thrust forth a course for thy repeal, we would not have to send over the vast world to seek a single man, and lose advantage, with doth ever cool in the absence of the leader.
Very well. Thou hast years upon thee, and thou art too full of the war's surfeit to go roam with one as yet unbruised. Bring me but out at gate. When I am forth, bid me farewell. Come, sweet wife. Yes, mother. My friends of noble touch, see me forth, and smile.
That's worthily, as any ear can hear. Would that I could shake off but 7 years from these old arms and legs. By the good gods, I'm with thee every foot.
Give me thy hand. Come. I serve now no master, I've lost my name. Blood I shed for my countrymen, now make my misery serve his turn. My misery serve his turn. A goodly city is this Antium. City, 'tis I that made thy widows. Many an heir of these fine edifices for my wars have I heard groan and drop. Then know thee not, lest that thy wives with spits and boys with stones in puny battle slay me. Stay, sir.
And you?
Direct me, if it be your will, where great Aufidius lies. Is he in Antium?
Yes, and feeds the nobles of his state at his house this night.
Which is his house, beseech you?
There, here before you, sir.
Thank you. Farewell. Oh, world, thy slippery turns. My birthplace hate I, and my love's upon this enemy town. I'll enter. If he slay me, he does fair justice. If he give me my way, I'll do his country service.
Wine, wine, wine! What service is here? I think our fellows are asleep.
Where's Cotus? My master calls for him. Cotus!
A goodly house. The feast smells well. But I appear not like a guest.
What would you have, friend? Whence are you? Here is no place for you. Pray, go to the door.
I have deserved no better entertainment in being Coriolanus.
What? Will you not? Prithee, go to my master and tell him what strange guest he has here.
I shall.
Where dwellest thou?
Under the canopy.
Under the canopy?
Where is this fellow?
Here. I would have beaten him like a dog, but not for disturbing the lords within.
Whence comest thou? What wouldst thou? Thy name? Why speak'st not? Speak, man, what's thy name?
If Tullus, not yet thou knowst me, and seeing me thinks me not for the man I am, necessity commands me name myself.
What is thy name?
A name unmusical to the Volscians' ears, and harsh in sound to thine.
Say, what's thy name? Thou hast a grim appearance, and thy face bears a command in't, though thy tackle's torn. Thou show'st a noble vessel. What's thy name?
Prepare thy brow to frown. Knowst thou me yet?
I know thee not. What's thy name?
My name is Caius Martius, who hath to thee particularly and to all the Volscians done great hurt and mischief. Thereto witness may my surname, Coriolanus. Only that name remains. The cruelty and envy of the people, permitted by our dastard nobles, who have all forsook me, hath devoured the rest, and suffered me by the voice of slaves to be whooped out of Rome. Now this extremity has brought me to thy hearth. Not out of hope, mistake me not, to save my life. For if I had feared death, of all the men in the world I would have avoided thee. But in mere spite, to be full quit of those my banishers, stand I before thee here. Make my misery serve thy turn. So use it that my revengeful services may prove as benefits to thee. For I will fight against my conquered country with the spleen of all the under-fiends. Or take my throat to thee and to thy ancient malice, which not to cut would show thee but a fool. For I have ever followed thee in hate, drawn tons of blood from thy country's breast, and cannot live, but to thy shame, unless it be to do thee service.
Oh, Coriolanus, Coriolanus, each word thou hast spoke hath weeded from my heart a root of ancient envy. If Jupiter should from yon cloud speak divine things and say, "'Tis true," I'll not believe them more than thee, all noble Coriolanus. Let me twine mine arms about that body, where against my grained ash 100 times hath broke, and scarred the moon with splinters. Worthy Coriolanus, had we no quarrel else to Rome, but that thou art thence banished, we would muster all from 12 to 70, and, pouring war into the bowels of ungrateful Rome, like a bold flood o'erbear. Oh, come, go in, and take our friendly senators by the hands, who now are here, taking their leaves of me, who am prepared against your territories, though not for Rome itself.
Are you bless me, gods?
Therefore, most absolute sir, if thou wilt have the leading of thine own revenges, take the 1/2 of my commission, and set down, as best thou art experienced, as thou knowest thy country's strength and weakness, thine own ways. Whether to knock against the gates of Rome, or rudely visit them in parts remote, to fright them, ere destroy. 1,000 welcomes, and more a friend than e'er an enemy. Yet, Coriolanus, that was much. Your hand, most welcome.
We hear not of him, neither need we fear him. His remedies are tame in the present peace and quietness of the people, which before were in wild hurry. Here do we make his friends blush, that the world goes well.
We stood it in good time. Is it Menenius?
'Tis he, 'tis he. Oh, he has grown most kind of late.
Hail, sir!
Hail to you both.
Your Coriolanus is not much missed, save with his friends. The Commonwealth does stand, and so would do were he more angry at it.
All's well, and might have been much better if he could have temporized.
Where is he, hear you?
I know not. His wife and mother hear nothing of him.
This is a happier and more comely time than when fellows run about the street, crying confusion.
Gaius Coriolanus was a worthy officer in the war, but insolent, overcome with pride, ambitious, past all thinking, self-loving,
and affecting one sole throne without assistance.
I think not so.
We should, to all our lamentations, had he gone forth consul, found it so.
The gods have well prevented it, and Rome sits safe and still without him.
But the tribunes, There is a slave whom we have put in prison reports. The Volskis are, with Coriolanus, entered in the Roman territories, and with the deepest malice of the war, destroy what lies before them.
What took you of Coriolanus?
Go see this rumor wit. Cannot be the Volskis dare break with us.
Cannot be. We have record that very well it can.
Tell not me, I know it cannot be.
Not possible.
It is spoke freely out of many mouths, how probable I do not know, that Coriolanus, joined with Aufidius, leads a power against Rome, and vows a revenge as spacious as between the youngest and the oldest thing.
This is most likely.
You are sent for to the Senate. A fearful army led by Coriolanus, associated with Aufidius, rages upon our territories, and have already all borne their way, consumed with fire, and took what lay before them.
Ha! The very trick on it.
You have made good work. Your news, your news.
News? The temples are burning to their cement, and your franchises upon which you stood are confined to an august board.
So you have made fair work. If Coriolanus be joined with the Volscians,
if he is their god, he leads them like a thing made of a deity other than nature that makes men stronger, and they follow him against us brats with no less confidence than boys swatting summer butterflies or butchers killing flies.
as Hercules did shake down merry fruit, you have made fair work.
But is this true, sir?
Tis true. And you will be pale before it will other. The regions do smilingly revolt. Those who resist are mocked as valiant ignoramus, and do die as constant fools. We are all undone unless the noble man have mercy.
Who should ask him? The tribunes can't do it for shame. And the people, the people deserve less pity than a wolf does on a sheep.
It is as you say. If he were put into my house the brand of fire that should consume it, I would not have the face to say, beseech you, cease.
You have brought a trembling upon Rome that has never been so incapable of help.
Say not we brought it.
It was the people's will.
The people. And they would roar him back again. Tullus Aufidius, the very second name of man, obeys his point as if he were his officer. No. Desperation is the only policy, strength, and defense that Rome has against them.
Faith, we hear fearful news. For mine own part, when I said banish him, I said 'twas a pity.
So did I, and so did I. And to say the truth, so did very many of us. That we did for the best. And though we willingly consented to his banishment, yet it was against our will.
You goodly things, you voices.
No, you have made good work, you and your cry. Shells to the capital?
Aye. What else?
Go. Get you home, be not dismayed. These, our side, would be glad to have this true, which they so seem to fear. Get you home, and show no sign of fear.
The gods be good to us. Come, let's home. I ever said we were in the Rome when we banished him.
So did we all, but come, let's home. I do not like this news.
Nor I.
Let's to the capital. Would half my wealth would buy this for a lie.
Pray, let us go.
Do they still fly to the Roman?
I do not know what witchcraft's gone into him. But your soldiers use him as grace for meat. Their talk at table, and their thanks at end. And you are darkened in this action, sir. Even by your own.
I cannot help it now, unless by using means I lame the foot of our design. He bears himself more proudlier, even to my person, than I thought he would when first I did embrace him. Yet his nature in that's no changeling, and I must excuse what cannot be amended.
Yet I wish, sir, I mean, for your particular, that you had not joined in commission with him, but either had borne the action of yourself, or to him had left it solely.
I understand thee well, and be thou sure, when he shall come to his account, he knows not what I can urge against him. Although it seems, and so he thinks, and is no less apparent to the vulgar eye, that he bears all things fairly, and shows good husbandry to the Volscian state, fights dragon-like, and does achieve as soon as draw his sword. Yet he hath left undone that which shall break his neck or hazard mine, whene'er we come to our account.
Sir, I beseech you, think you he'll carry your own?
All places yield to him ere he sits down, and the nobility of Rome are his. The senators and patricians love him too. The tribunes are no soldiers, and their people will be as rash in their appeal as hasty to expel him thence. He was a noble servant to them, but he could not carry his honours even. So our virtues lie in the interpretation of the time, and power, unto itself most commendable, hath not a tomb so evident as a chair to extol what it hath done. One fire drives out one fire, one nail, rights by rights falter, strengths by strengths do fail. Come, let's away. When, Caius, Rome is thine, thou art poorest of all, then shortly art thou mine.
Nay, I'll not go to him. You heard what he had said, which was sometime his general, who hath loved him in a most dear particular. Go you, who banished him. Fall down a mile before his tent, and knee your way into his mercy. Nay, if he coyed to hear Cominius speak, I'll keep at home.
He would not seem to know me.
Do you hear?
Once he called my name. I did urge on him our old acquaintance, the drops that we had bled together. Coriolanus he would not answer to. Forbade all names. He was a kind of nothing. Titus. Save for the name he will forge in the blood of burning Rome.
How so you have made fair work. A pair of tribunes that have racked for Rome, to make coals cheap, a noble memory.
I minded him. 'Twere royal to pardon, when least expected. And this he said to me, this was a bare petition of a state who had punished him.
Very well. Could he say less?
I urged on him.
the delight of private friends. And this he said, that he could not stay to pick from a pile of noisome, musty chuff. It said 'twere folly to pick one poor grain or two and leave unburnt, and still to nose the offence.
For one poor grain or two, must we be burned for you?
Nay, pray be patient. If you will refuse your aid in this ne'er so needed help, yet do not upbraid with our distress, but sure, if you would be your country's pleader, your good tongue, more than the instant army we could make, might stop our countryman.
What should I do?
Make trial of what your love can do for Rome towards Coriolanus.
Your good tongue must have that thanks from Rome, as you intended well.
I'll undertake it. I think he'll hear me.
You know the very road into his kindness and cannot lose your way.
Speed how it will. You shall ere long have knowledge of my success.
He will not hear him.
Not?
I tell you, he does sit in gold, his eye red as it would burn. His injury the jailer to his mercy. I knelt before him. To faintly he said, "Rise," and then he dismissed me thus with a speechless hand. What he would do, he'd send in writing after me, but what he would not do was bound in the oath to yield to his conditions. There is no one, unless his noble mother and his wife, who, as I hear, mean to solicit for the mercy to our country. So, we must hence, and urge their entreaties.
Stay. Whence are you?
Stand and go back.
You guard dutifully. 'Tis well. But I must have leave to speak with Coriolanus.
From whence?
Rome.
You may not pass. You must return. Our general will no more hear from thence.
You will see your Rome engraced in fire before you speak with Coriolanus.
Good my friends, if you have heard your general speak of Rome and of his friends there, it is lots to blights that my name hath touched your ears. It is Menenius.
Be it so, go back. The virtue of your name is not here passable.
Prithee, fellows. The general is my lover. Therefore, I must have leave to pass.
Faith, sir, if you had told as many lies in his behalf as you have uttered words in your own, you should not pass here. No, though it were as virtuous to lie as to live chastely. Therefore, go back.
Remember, my name is Menenius, always factionary on the party of your general.
Howsoever you have been his liar, as you say you have been, I am one that speaking truth unto him, must say to you, you cannot pass, therefore go back.
Has he died? Canst thou tell? For I would not speak with him until after dinner.
You're a Roman, are you?
I am, as thy general is.
Therefore you should hate Rome as he does. You're deceived, therefore back to Rome and prepare for your execution. You are condemned. Our general has sworn you out of reprieve and pardon.
What's the matter?
Noble companion, I'll say an errand for you, and you shall know I am in estimation. My son, my son, thou art preparing fire for us. May the good gods assuage thy wrath and turn the dregs of it upon these varlets here who, like blocks, have denied my access to thee.
Away.
Away how?
Wife, mother, child, I know not. My affairs are servanted to others. Yet, for I love thee, take this along. I writ it for thy sake, and would have rent it. Another word, Menenius, I will not hear thee speak. This man, Aufidius, was my beloved in Rome, yet now beholdst.
You keep a constant temper.
So, sir, you're saying your name was, you said, Menenius?
It is a name of wondrous power. You know the way home again.
Do you hear how we are shamed for keeping your greatness back?
What need have we, think you, to swoon?
I care not for the world, nor your general. He that hath a will to die by himself fears it not from another. Let your general do his worst. I say unto you, as I was sent to. Away!
A noble fellow, I warrant him.
That fellow is our general. He's a rock, an oak, not to be wind shaken.
We shall, before the walls of Rome, tomorrow set down our host. My partner in this action, you must report to the Volscian nobles how plainly I have borne this business.
Only their ends you have respected. Stopped your ear to the general suit of Rome. Never admitted a private whisper. No, not with such friends that thought them sure of you.
This last old man whom with a cracked heart I have sent to Rome loved me above the measure of a father, nay, godded me indeed. Their latest refuge was to send him fresh embassies and suits, nor from the state, nor from private friends, hereafter will I lend an ear to.
Let us through.
Oh, what shout is this? Shall I be tempted to infringe my vow in the very time it is made? I will not! A wife comes forward. And then the honoured mould wherein this trunk was made, and in her hand the grandchild to her blood. But out, affection! Oh. I melt, and am not of stronger earth than others. My mother bows, as if Olympus to a molehill in supplication nod, and my young boy hath an aspect of intercession which great nature cries, deny not. Oh, let the Volscis plough Rome and harrow Italy. I'll never be such a gosling to obey instinct and stand as if a man were author of himself and knew no other kin.
My lord and husband.
Oh, these eyes are not the same I wore in Rome.
The sorrow that brought us this change makes you think so.
Like a dull actor now, I have forgot my part, and am out even to a full disgrace. Best of my flesh, forgive my tyranny, but do not for that sake forgive our Romans. kiss, long as my exile, sweet as my revenge. Now by the jealous Queen of Heaven that kiss I carried from thee. Oh, you gods, I prate, and the most noble mother of the world leave unsaluted. Sink my knee in the earth.
Oh, stand up, blessed. Whilst with no softer cushion than a flint, I kneel before thee, and improperly show duty, as mistaken all this while between the child and the parent.
What is this? Your knees to me, to your corrected son?
Thou art my warrior. I hold to frame thee. Knowst thou this lady?
The noble sister of Publicola, the moon of Rome, chaste as an icicle that's curded by the frost from the purest snow and hangs on Dian's temple. Dear Valeria.
This is a poor epitome of yours, who by the full interpretation of time may show, like all yourself.
The God of soldiers inform thy thoughts with nobleness.
Your knees, sir.
That's my brave boy.
Even he, your wife, this lady and myself, are here as suitors to thee.
Oh, beseech you, peace. Do not bid me dismiss my soldiers, or compound again with Rome's mechanics.
Oh, no, no, no. We will not ask you anything but that which you deny already. But we will ask that if we fail in our request, the blame may lie upon your hardness. Therefore hear us.
Aufidius, and you Volscians, hark, for we'll hear naught from Rome in private. Your request.
Should we be silent and not speak, our raiment and state of bodies would betray what lives we have led since thy exile, making the mother, wife, and child to see the father, son, and husband tearing his country's bowels out.
Aye, and think on me, who brought you forth this boy to keep your name living to time. I shall not tread on me. I'll run away till I'm bigger, but then I'll fight.
Not of a woman's tenderness to be, requires nor child nor woman's face to see. I have sat long enough.
Nay, go not from us thus. If it were that our request did tend to save the Romans, thereby to destroy the Volscians, whom you serve, you might well condemn us as being poisonous of your honour. No, our suit is that you reconcile them. That while on the one hand the Volscians may say, this mercy we have shown, on the other, the Romans, this we have received, and each on either side give the all hail to thee, and say, be blessed for making up this peace. Thou knowst, great son, the end of war's uncertain, but this certain, that if thou conquer Rome, the benefit which thou shalt reap is such an end that will be dogged with curses. Speak to me, son. Why dost not speak? Think'st thou it honourable for a man, a noble man, still to remember wrongs? He turns away. Down, ladies, let us shame him with our knees. To his surname Coriolanus longs more pride than pity to our prayers. Yet give us our dispatch. I'll be hushed till our city be afire, and then I'll speak a little.
Behold, the heavens do ope, the gods look down, and this unnatural sea they laugh at. Oh, my mother. You have won a happy victory to Rome. But for your son, believe it, oh, believe it. Most dangerously you have with him prevailed, if not most mortal to him. But let it come. Aufidius, I cannot make true wars, but I'll frame convenient peace. Aufidius, if thou wert in my stead, wouldst thou have heard a mother less, granted less, Aufidius?
I was moved with awe.
Oh, I dare be sworn you were. And, sir, it is no little thing to make mine eyes sweat compassion. But, good sir, what peace you'll make, inform me. For my part, I'll not to Rome. I'll back with you, and pray you stand to me in this cause. Oh, mother, why?
I am glad thou hast set thy mercy and thy honour at difference in thee. Out of that, I'll work myself a former fortune.
Aye, by and by. But you shall bear a better witness back than words, which we on like condition will have countersealed. Come, enter with us. Ladies, you deserve to have a temple built you. All the swords in Italy and her confederate arms could not have made this peace.
See you, yond coin of the capital, yond cornerstone?
Why, what of it?
If it be possible for you to displace it with your little finger, there is hope the ladies of Rome, especially his mother, might prevail with him. But I say there is no hope on't. Our throats are sentenced and stay upon execution.
But is it possible so short a time can change the condition of a man?
There is a difference between a grub and a butterfly. Yet your butterfly was a grub. This Coriolanus has grown from man to dragon. He has wings. He's more than a creeping thing.
He loved his mother dearly.
So did he me. Now he remembers his mother no more than an 8-year-old horse. The tartness of his face would sour ripe grapes. He wants nothing of a god, but eternity and a heaven to throne in.
Mercy if you report him truly.
I paint him in the character. Mark what mercy his mother may bring from him. There is no more mercy in him than there is milk in a male tiger. All this shall our poor city find, and all this is long of you.
The gods be good unto us.
No! In a case, such a case as this, the gods will not be good unto us. When we banished him, we respected not them. And he, returning to break our necks, they respect not us.
Tribune, if you'd save your life, fly to your house. If the plebeians cut your fellow tribune and hail her up and down, if the Roman ladies bring not comfort home, they'll give them death by inches.
What's the news?
Good news, good news. The ladies have prevailed, the Volscians are dislodged, and Coriolanus gone. A merrier day did never yet greet Rome, no? Not the expulsion of the Tarquins.
Friend, is this true? Art thou certain? Is most certain?
As certain as I know the sun is of fire, Where have you lurked that you make doubt of it? Never through an arch so hurried the blown tide as a recomforted through the gates. Why, hark you, the trumpets, sackbuts, psalteries and fifes, tabors and cymbals, and the shouting Romans make the sun dance. Hark you.
This is good news. I shall stay to greet the ladies.
Well, the gods bless you for your tidings and accept my thankfulness.
We have all great cause to give great thanks.
They are in the city.
Almost at point to enter.
We will meet them and help the joy.
Behold our patroness, the life of Rome. Call all your tribes together, praise the gods, and make triumphant fires. Strew flowers before them. Unshout the noise that banished Coriolanus. Repeal him with the welcome of his mother. Cry, welcome, ladies, welcome! Welcome, ladies, welcome!
Go tell the lords of the city I am here. Deliver them this paper. Having read it, bid them repair to the marketplace, where I, even in theirs and the commons' ears, shall vouch the truth of it. Him I accuse the city ports by this hath entered, and intends to appear before the people, hoping to purge himself with words. Dispatch!
How is it with our general?
Even so is with a man by his own arms empoisoned, and with his charity slain.
Most noble sir, if you do hold the same intent, wherein you had wished parties, we'll deliver you of your great danger.
Sir, I cannot tell. We must proceed as we do find the people.
Ah, the people remain uncertain, whilst twixt in there's difference. But the fall of either makes the survivor heir of all.
I know it. And my pretext to strike at him admits a good construction.
Sir, his stoutness. When he did stand for consul, which he lost by lack of stooping.
That I would have spoke of. Being banished for it, he came unto my hearth, delivered to my knife his throat. I took him, made him joint servant with me, gave him way in all his desires. Nay, let him choose out of my files his projects to accomplish, my best and freshest men. Served his designments in mine own person, holp to reach the fame which he did end all his, and took some pride to do myself this wrong, till at the last I seemed his follower, not partner, and he waged me with his countenance, as if I had been mercenary.
So he did, my lord. The army marvelled at it. And in the last, when he had carried Rome, and that we looked for no less spoil than glory.
That was it, for which my sinews shall be stretched upon him. At a few drops of women's rheum, which are as cheap as lies, he sold the blood and labour of our great action. Therefore shall he die, and I'll renew me in his fall. But hark!
Your native town you entered like a ghost and had no welcomes home. But he returns, splitting the air with noise.
Patient fools, whose children he hath slain. Their base throats tear with giving him glory.
Therefore, at your vantage, ere he express himself, or move the people with what he would say, let him feel your sword, which we will second. As he lies along, after your way, his tale pronounced, shall bury the reasons with his body.
Say no more. Here come the lords.
You are most welcome home.
I have not deserved it, but, worthy lords, have you with heed perused what I have written to you?
We have. I grieve to hear it. What fools he had before the last, I think might have found easy finds. But making a treaty where there was a yielding, this admits no excuse.
He approaches. You shall hear him.
Hail, noble lords! I return your soldier, no more infected with my own country's love than when I parted hence, but still subsisting under your great command. We have made peace, and here deliver what we have compounded on.
Read it not, noble lords, but tell the traitor, in the highest degree, he hath abused your powers.
Traitor? How now?
Aye, traitor, Martius.
Martius?
Aye, Martius, Caius Martius. Dost thou think I'll grace thee with that robbery? Thy stolen name, Coriolanus, in Corioli? You lords and heads of the state, perfidiously he has betrayed your business and given up for certain drops of salt. Your city, Rome, I say your city, to his wife and mother, breaking his oath and resolution like a twist of rotten silk, never admitting counsel of the war, but at his nurse's tears he whined and roared away your victory, that pages blushed at him, and men of heart looked wondering, each at other.
Hearest thou, Mars?
Nay, not the god, thou boy of tears!
Huh?
No more!
Measureless liar! Thou hast made my heart too great for what contains it. Boy! Oh, slave!
Peace both and hear me speak.
Ah, cut me to pieces, Volsky's men and lads! Stain all your edges on me! Boy! False hound! I flattered your Volscians in Corioli! Alone I did it! Boy!
Why, noble lords, will you be put in mind to his blind fortune, which was your shame, by this unholy braggart, for your own eyes and ears?
Let him die forever!
The man is noble, and his fame falls in this orb of the earth. This last offences us shall have judicious hearing. Now stand, Aufidius, and trouble not the peace.
That I have him with 6 Aufidiuses or more is trying to use my lawful sword.
Insolent villain!
Kill him!
My noble masters, hear me speak!
Tullus, thou hast done a deed whereat valor will weep.
Tread not upon him! Masters all, put up your swords!
My lords, when you shall know which in this rage, provoked by him, you cannot, the great danger that this man's life did owe you, you'll rejoice that he is thus cut off. Please it your honours to call me to your senate. I'll present myself your loyal servant, or endure your heaviest censure.
Bear from hence his body, and mourn you for him. Let him be regarded as the most noble course that ever herald had followed to his urn.
His own impatience takes from Aufidius a great part of blame. Let's make the best of it.
My rage is gone, and I am struck with sorrow. Take him up. Help! Free of the chiefest soldiers. I'll be one. Though in this city he hath widowed and unchilded many a one. which to this hour bewail the injury. Yet he shall have a noble memory. Assist!